It's an honor and a pleasure to be participating, even if virtually, at this great conference of the American Zionist movement. I'm a proud Zionist. I'm a proud Zionist because I'm a lawyer, because I'm a liberal, because I'm a civil libertarian. Of all the countries that have come into existence politically in the last century or so, no country has a more lawful birth certificate. It's no accident. So many of Israel's founders were lawyers or legally trained, or at least had gone to law school, from Theodor Herzl to Zev Jabotinsky to Ben Gurion to Begin to Shamir and others. They were determined to see that Israel was established by the pen, by the law, and not by the sword. Tragically, Israel has had to defend its existence by the sword, but it has been established by the pen. The Balfour Declaration was an important part, but not the only part, of the legal establishment of Israel. After the Balfour Declaration, the existence of a nation-state of the Jewish people was recognized by the San Remo Agreement in 1920, the League of Nations Resolution 1922, the Anglo-American Convention on Palestine 1924, the 1947 partition of mandatory Palestine into two states for two people, one the Jewish people, one the Arabs of Palestine, which Israel accepted, of course, and the Palestinian people rejected, were all part of the legal process of Israel's establishment. But Israel was established well before Lord Balfour became the Foreign Secretary of England. Israel was established through the hard work of the Chalutzim, of the pioneers, the people who came on the first Aliyah, the second Aliyah, the people who bought land from distant Arab landlords and cultivated the land and made the deserts bloom and built cities like Tel Aviv. When Winston Churchill came to Palestine in the early 1920s and was asked, should there be a Jewish homeland in Palestine, he said, should there be? There already is. The Jewish people have a university. He spoke at Hebrew University. They have newspapers. They have political parties. They have a symphony. They have everything that leads to the establishment of a state. And Churchill said that the establishment of a homeland for the Jewish people would be good not only for the Jews, not only for the Arabs of Palestine, but for the world at large. And he was right. No country in history has contributed more to humanity than Israel has in the 70 years of its existence. I challenge anybody to name a country that in 70 years has contributed so much in terms of health care, in terms of technology, in terms of the environment, agriculture. Israel has been a light unto the world. And yet, despite its legitimate birth certificate and its major contributions to humanity, Israel is the only country today whose legitimacy is challenged. Challenged not only at the United Nations, who expects otherwise from a country which, if Algeria introduced a resolution that the world was flat and that Israel flattened it, would win 142 to 31 with 21 abstentions. We know that the UN vote means nothing, whether it's UNICEF or UNRWA or any of the other organizations or UNESCO. All of these organizations are biased against Israel. But Israel's legitimacy is being challenged today in a much more dangerous place than the UN, and that is on college and university campuses. Why is that so dangerous? It's so dangerous because when I taught for 50 years at Harvard, I knew that I was teaching the future lawyer leaders of America. When I looked at my first-year class in criminal law, I would see not just 150 frightened faces. I would see the next president of the United States, the next editor of the New York Times, the next Chief Justice of the United States, the next General Counsel or President of Goldman Sachs. The leaders of the world are being educated today, and they're being miseducated. They're being taught that Israel is an illegitimate apartheid regime, genocidal regime, rather than the only democracy in the Middle East whose birth certificate is based on the law, not on the soil, of the blood, of the sword, of so many people. And so Zionists should be proud. They shouldn't be defensive. We should proclaim our Zionism and remind the world that Zionism is the national liberation movement of the Jewish people. When Israel was established, every good person on earth supported its establishment. The vote at the United Nations, the good countries in the world voted yes, and the good people of the world went to Israel to help build the land. Everything changed in the 60s and 70s when Israel showed that it was not just a poor country surrounded by enemies, but also a militarily powerful country that could defend itself in the 67 war and the 73 war and the wars that came since. Israel understands the words of David in the Psalms, Hashem oz li'amo yitain, Hashem yivarech et amo b'shalom. God will give the Jewish people strength, and only then will the Jewish people get peace. We have learned the lesson through the Shoah, the Holocaust, that the Jewish people can't survive weak. The Jewish people can't survive without disproportionate military power, political power, financial power, academic power, moral power. Never, ever be ashamed to use your power in defense of morality and justice. We learned in the Holocaust that having morality on our side was not enough. We needed morality backed by strength. And thank God for the strength of the Israeli army. Thank God for the strength of the American Jewish community and many Jewish communities around the world. We have earned our right to participate fully in the democratic processes of our country and to urge the United States and other countries in which we live to support Israel and not to follow the demonization that so many on the hard left and some on the extreme right who come together in the demonization of Israel are trying to project on America's future. So congratulations to Zionism, congratulations to the Zionist movement, congratulations to all of you for holding the flame of Theodor Herzl high and continuing the struggle. If you dream it, it can happen. Herzl dreamed it, the Chalutzim made it happen, Ben-Gurion and Weizmann and so many others played a central role. The current Israeli government is a strong government, strong economically, strong militarily. May we go from strength to strength. May the Jewish people always remain strong and moral. May the state of Israel survive for many, many hundreds of years. And may Zionism become a rallying cry for everybody around the world who wants to promote the national liberation of their people. Yasher Koach, and may you go from strength to strength.